So let's get into this here. So on the 5th of July, we got two big things going on here. Libras, again, Libra rising. On Mars 5th, we have, on July 5th, we have Mars going into Taurus. So that's going from your 7th house in areas of relationships, of romance, of, it doesn't always have to be romantic relationships, but it is your house of relationships there in Aries. And it is moving into your 8th house of death in Taurus. Death, shared resources, and it will also be in detriment. Mars is in detriment in Taurus, whereas it was in its home sign in Aries. It's going to be a really big... It's going to be you're going to feel this energy shift here, because it will be, it'll be very prevalent for you guys moving out of your 7th house and into the 8th house there. So you're going to be more focused on depending on others' money, on any money that you owe, any debts, and you're going to be forced to keep the momentum and slow down a little bit there with Mars and Taurus, but to continue to keep going at and continuing, what you had started when Mars was in Aries. So that's what we got going on there. Mars going to Taurus. Oh, also something I wanted to mention with Mars going to Taurus. This is kind of big. When the last time that Mars was in Taurus was actually January 6th. So that was the last time it moved into Taurus. And if you remember what happened that day, or even if you aren't in America and you know what happened that day, you know that obviously I would say that whatever they had planned didn't really come to action. And it was like the momentum was lost, obviously. Like, they came there with all the weapons, all the screaming. It felt very much like, but it ended up feeling a lot more like the South Park, like, they're going to take our guns, they're going to take our jobs, all that kind of stuff. It was just like, okay, so you didn't really burn anything down, the government wasn't overthrown. It's very much the feeling of like a loss of momentum, a loss of, energy, feeling a little lazy, a little half-assed with the effort. So just be watching out for that kind of energy. Slowing you down there. Also on the 5th, we have Mercury moving into Cancer, and Mercury rules your 12th house of death, of your hidden self there, of your self-sabotage, of hidden enemies, of areas where you have things that are about yourself that you repress more. And it also rules your 9th house, and your 9th house rules it rules long distance travel, spirituality, beliefs, higher education, etc. And it's all going, so Mercury rules these areas, and it's moving from your 9th house and into your 10th house, which is all about, your public image, your, publishing, what you are putting out to the world. I already said public image, sorry. She's like, for some reason, crawling all around this chair right now, so it's a little distracting. So with 10th house, and it's also about, social media, really the face that you put out to the world there, your own personal fame, especially in terms of career. So you're going to be expressing a more nurturing vibe in this area when Mercury moves into Cancer, because Cancer is all about nurturing. But it is going to be you are going to probably be recognizing issues with hidden enemies, and issues with yourself in terms of self-sabotage, and any problems that are kind of coming up there that are stopping you from really believing in yourself, and also expressing that belief and putting that public image of believing yourself, being confident in yourself out there. So it's going to be a time to really nurture this area and really work through that kind of stuff. On the 13th, we have the full moon in Capricorn. Now go back to a good way to like look at the energy that we're going to be experiencing here, is that we can go back to the end of 2021 into early 2022, like December through February. We had the Venus retrograde in Capricorn. So go back to that, because that was a huge shift with your home situation, because it is the ruler of your 10th house, the moon, your 10th house of career and stuff, going into detriment in your 4th house, bringing a sense of illuminating issues with home and your living situation. And really, you're probably going to have to deal with a lot of things you don't want to here with this Cancer Capricorn axis going on. And it's going to be like really realizing problems and things you don't want to take care of, but that you must take care of. And on the 16th, we have Mercury Cassini, and Mercury is in Cancer in your 10th house, and it's going to be really combust with the sun there. So it's going to be a really public a public moment, it kind of feels like for you. There could be problems communicating the right thing, and it could be really difficult in the area because it, again, is Mercury, and it probably has been difficult. But whatever issue you have with communication, I feel like will be really clarified and cleared up here, because Mercury Kazimis are very like moments of intense clarity there. And it's really quite combust with the Sun and Mercury both being in Cancer in your 10th house. So, however, because Mercury rules your 12th house of hidden enemies and your 9th house there, and it's going to be possibly bringing up some issues with people that you might have issues with at work, so career issues with certain people at work. And in terms of like maybe somebody's been rude to you or something, you could end up finding out what the heck was going on there. So there's going to be clarity around situations there. And on the 18th, we have Venus entering Cancer. So Venus is your ruling planet as well as your 8th house ruler, and it's going into your 10th house in Cancer. So once again, the 10th house is all about your public image, your publishing, yourself out there, as well as in terms of how you are putting your career and your accomplishments out there. So when we kind of get that going on there, we have so it's going into your 10th house there with Cancer, which is very nurturing energy. So work is going to actually feel pretty good for you guys. It's going to be you're going to feel very taken care of, connecting more with your, whatever it is that you're doing, really enjoying it and making it look a little better, making it feel better. I feel like at this time, like you could actually end up enjoying, what it is that you're doing rather than having issues there. So you could also you could be spending some more money there because, again, you are Venus ruled. You got some Venus stuff going on here with the 8th house. You could end up needing to also, give some money to others, but it's not going to be a really difficult situation. It could be debt that you owe, etc. And actually, before I go any further, let me just make sure really quick that we got the sound going. Actually, before I go any further. Yep, there we do. There we do. Okay, I don't need to mess with that. Really quick that we got the sound going. It's horrifying. So creepy. Okay, so on the 19th, we have Mercury going into Leo. Mercury rules your 9th house as well as your 12th house. Your 9th house of spirituality, higher education, your beliefs, occult, as well as, I feel like I'm missing something here, but whatever. And your 12th house of hidden enemies, self-sabotage, any aspects of yourself that you have hidden. It's going into your 11th house of friends in Leo. So that's again, Leo is fixed fire. It's very vital. It's very open. It's very like, here I am, like I'm going to shout my, feelings and stuff to the world. So this could be a really big moment here in the 11th house where you're asking, like, who are your friends? Is this the right place or time? And are there hidden enemies afoot? And can you really express your distrust and issues openly with confidence in this area with the 12th house? Like, if you're feeling like people have, you might have some issues with friends, they're not communicating it, you're going to feel more like backed by your ego and this Leo energy to go and ask them what the heck's going on here, instead of, saying, I'd rather just like step off and just like let it be, and I'll just let it, work itself out. Like, I don't want to disrupt the relationship. Don't dip into that energy, because Libra, because you have this Leo energy that is actually helping you to communicate these things, whereas I find Libras often won't communicate their issues with other relationships and with their friendships because they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to create more unnecessary issues in their mind. But this is a time where you can rock the boat, communicate, what it is you're picking up on, and have open conversations. We also have, on the 29th, we have the new moon in Leo. So another Leo moment here with the 11th house, and it's going to be, again, very much more friend and community focus here at the end of the month for you guys. So Mercury rules your 9th house and your 12th house, and it's going into your 11th house of friends. So again, it's going to be a really big, I was just reading that for Mercury, but it is kind of the same thing there with the moon. It is going to be a new beginning in that 11th house there of friends. Who are your friends? And really just like focusing on, how we can either rejuvenate friendships, reconnect with certain people maybe that we haven't, really take stock of who's around us. And also it's going to be a really good time to have fun and be loud and like go out and have some fun with friends. And also on that same day, on the 29th of July, we have the Jupiter retrograde, Jupiter going retrograde in Aries. That's a weird way to say that. Anyways, it's going retrograde, obviously, in your 7th house in Aries. And you're going to really need to remind yourself that you can do what you started. Do not let, especially this is going to be a problem for you guys. We're here at the end of the month. This is going to be a tough time for you guys in terms of, I think it's going to be, a time where exes and people that once had great control of like relationship within you might come back in, and you might say, okay, just like take the control again. Like, oh, like you know, you might lose your confidence in how far you've come without this other person. So those of you who are, you know, coming out of codependent relationships and things like that, do not lose your confidence and belief in yourself. Do not forget what, you know, how hard you've worked to get where you've gotten. It's just like, I think it could just kind of like reel you back a little bit, because you might start asking yourself, is this what I want? Maybe I lost that person, oh no. And it's like, no, don't go reeling back into that kind of mindset. You've come really far. Don't lose your confidence just because Jupiter is retrograde and not giving you that, like, that Aries energy, that Aries confidence in terms of, you know, I can do this, I can, you know, move forward without this other person, or I can go and find the right relationship here. So yeah, and then on August 1st, I did want to mention this a little bit, because even though this is in July, August 1st, we're going to have your 7th house ruler of relationship. It's going to be conjunct with Taurus and Uranus in your 8th house of death and endings. So it's going to be a really rough start there. And you might even have like some issues with money and like needing to spend money. Like, so have some emergency money things set aside. Don't overspend this month. Don't indulge with spending this month, okay? Because I really feel like early August, late July is going to be a time where you might have some unexpected large expenses come up that you need to take care of, okay? So that is your astrology here, Libra. Let's get into your cards. So I'm going to maximize this screen here, and we're going to talk a little bit about your tarot, okay? So let's get into this here. All right, Libra. Which one are we going to go for? I had your deck right next to me. Now it's gone. Okay. We're going to go with one of my oldest decks, actually, that I have out over here. We're going to use the Gustav Klimt deck, okay? It's very old. It's one of my oldest decks, and it is very used, but very trusty. Okay. So Libra. This is the July 22 tarot reading for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. It's like a month ahead of July 2022 for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Alright, we're just going to pull the cards. Be a little quiet while I do this. Don't you worry. Man. Okay. I do feel like work stuff is going pretty well for you guys. However, this is interesting. Oh my gosh, Libra. Oh my gosh, the tea is spilling, Libra. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I'll just say this. If you got issues with a Virgo, or you've had issues with a Virgo, go check out their reading. I don't know, I think you'll laugh. Their reading was very, like, a very specific message, so I don't know what Virgos I was, like, tapped into there. Oh my god, Libra. Okay. And it's not bad stuff, it's just like, I don't know, it really kind of actually depends on what you do here. Don't be, oh, this is so specific. Okay, so let's just start talking. I was actually expecting this to be more about career, but it's kind of like, oh my god, no, I'm doing amazing with career, like, whatever. So immediately, I just feel like you guys have been in a really stressed I mean, you could be really stressed right now as well, but I do feel like a lot of like the pressure, the stress, whatever it is that you're dealing with is going to be you know, dropped a little bit here, because Ten of Wands is reversed. It did come out like spinning and landed reverse. So I do feel that like you're going to have this shift. Oh my god. Again, once again, another day where I can't figure out how this camera flips this over. But Ten of Wands reversed to me is you guys really like needing, and not only it's like you need to do this, like, I mean, you need to take a break in terms of work. You have to lighten the load. You must do so, and I think you have realized this already. So it's kind of, I feel like more like you're in the process here in the beginning of July of making work a less stressful, less insane, less psychotic experience for yourself. It's like, no, I am not carrying all, you know, 8 of these wands like for myself, as well as like 2 more for you, as well as 10 more for you. Like, no, we all have to start carrying our weight here. And I feel like you're finally in a position, for a lot of you, where you can lighten that load a little bit, and you can kind of delegate tasks more, or like you put yourself into a position where you're like, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. Like, no, I have standards, and I need to sleep at least 6 hours a night, and I can't be doing this, that, and the other thing when we have enough people here that we could be delegating this to other people here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to like figure out which side these things want to go on, but like it's just not going to work, I guess. It never works unless I just look at it from a different thing. All right, and I'm just getting really hot, so I'm gonna take this off because I'm dying, guys. So we're just gonna deal with this. It's summer. It's summer in Florida, and it is like 90. Do you want to know how hot it is out? It's 89. Oh, actually, it only says it's 89 degrees, but I know that that is a lie because I was just out there, and it feels more like 101. So, anyways, continuing on Libra, because you have this Two of Cups and the Queen of Wands that come out right after that. So let's talk about that a little bit. These like were your first 2 cards, and I was more focused on terms of like what's happening, where are you at, like where is going on in terms of your life and work more likely here. And I know Two of Cups is a love card for a lot of people. However, I often see this as like getting that job offer, getting that situation that you really want in terms of work here. It's, you know, feeling loved again back by it. And also, whenever I get the Queen of Wands, she's kind of like my business bitch card. Like, I don't know how to say that any other way other than like this is the wrong card. Other than she, again, it's really difficult. Like the mirroring from screen to what I'm doing, it like throws me off so much. Like, you know, am I going to do it? I'm going to do the Gen Z thing of like, yes, I'm going to blame my neurodivergency on like, I cannot figure this shit out. It's so annoying to me. Anyways, but the Queen of Wands is very much like she's very confident with her. I always see her as like a very confident leader in terms of work, somebody who's very good at what they do, that is isn't afraid to boss people around, isn't afraid to show how good they are at something. And it just feels like you're in a really like, yeah, I got this kind of position. Like you're very confident, you have something to be proud of in terms of work, and it also feels like work might be nurturing you again. And I think this actually came up in your astrology, if I remember what I just said. Sometimes I forget as soon as I get through it, but I do think that this kind of came up in your astrology of being more nurtured at work, really enjoying it and feeling more in control, more confident, like you can do more and are seen and respected more. It's kind of it's the respect for me. It's kind of how I feel for you, Libras, right now. It's like it's the respect for me, okay? But this is okay. So work is looking good. We'll pull a few more cards on that before we get into this messiness over here, because we have to talk about the messiness. And Libra, we had to have a real talk about it, because you do not want, oh my god, this is just like, no, we're not talking about that yet. Anything else you want to say about work, career, life, things that they're going to need to know about this month that are coming in, happening? It's like, get your rest, but don't rest too hard. If you have certain ideas and things you want to implement, you want to do, you can do them, but don't, with the Mars and Taurus energy, get too ingratiated. If you have an idea and it feels to me like whatever idea that you have is pretty big, and it's like you don't want to get into this thing of like you guys like resting too much, because the Four of Swords is reversed here. When I get the Four of Swords reversed, yes, it can indicate that you need more rest than usual. So I would say it's kind of this weird spot of like making sure you are taking care of your body and your health, but don't sleep on ideas. Like if you find that like, you know, your relaxation time like after work you got like 6 hours of relaxation time and all of it is spent sitting on the couch watching TV and you're not accomplishing anything. You're getting too into that Mars and Taurus slowness, and you need to keep the momentum of the Mars and Aries going, where it's like, no, you had an idea, you had plans, didn't you? Because you clearly did. And it's like, whatever those plans were, continue on, really keep on it with the Mars and Taurus energy, because you got to keep the momentum, you got to keep doing what you're doing. Don't get too slow with that. Like, make sure again you're taking care of yourself, but do not slow down too much on an idea, because it's just gonna keep growing and building. And it really feels like, I mean, obviously when the king of, hold on one second guys, I didn't realize this wasn't plugged in, but it looks like someone unplugged it. So yes. So yeah, we got this Ace of Wands here and the King of Pentacles. And when the King of Pentacles shows up, I mean, like, that is, he doesn't have to worry about money. It's kind of like, you could set yourself up for a lot more comfortable of an existence. And whatever idea that you might have right now, it does seem like it holds water and can make you some decent money, stability, security. It's like you're going to continue to capitalize and build upon your security, so keep doing it. Okay, Libras, I'm like, you guys are really good at that stuff anyways. All right, so let's get into the messy stuff. Work and career is looking good. Just keep on it. You guys are always amazing at this stuff. But let's get into the relationship stuff. And I know I don't want any Libras clapping back at me being like, no, we're the best at relationships, we're the best at this. Like, okay, well, if you guys are the best at relationships, like, you would actually tell people how you feel. You would not let everybody walk all over you. But it's, and I do think you guys are getting there, and that's why, like, I really want to talk this, because I feel like Libras have been on this kick of, like, I'm not taking shit anymore. So, like, don't take shit anymore, okay? Because right here, it seems like you might be susceptible to take some shit, and I don't really want you to do that. Because we have, why I brought up the Virgo thing is, there we go. And this Virgo energy brings with it a lot of issues. It could be that you felt very isolated and alone, maybe even from a Virgo. It doesn't have to be a Virgo, but somebody that you have not spoken to. And I'm going to say an ex because of the cards that come out. Somebody who was once involved with you and wants to be involved with you again, but it's a fucking mess, okay? Just keep them out. Like, oh my God. Because it's like, you are just going to see this as this really annoying, conflicting energy. And you're going to be like, there's nothing to build here. And, if you're not seeing that right away, I do think by the 16th, A, you will. But B, it's going to be very apparent with the frustrating energy surrounding this person. And I also feel like you're going to be really frustrated. Again, because the Mars and Taurus energy, Mercury and Cancer, it's going to bring up a really frustrating, stubborn, angsty kind of shitty energy. Oh my God, sorry. We're going to figure this out, okay? There we go. You know what? Let's move it from this side to this side. That's easier, I think. All right, so... but yeah, but the Five of Wands, I always see that as like, there's a lot of like little like, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of little red flags here. You're gonna be like, this person texted me at this hour and they said that after how they left things. I don't think so. Like, I don't think so. Oh my God. Yeah, so we have that. We're gonna keep on going because there's more cards here. But the Three of Pentacles reversed, I always see that as we cannot build together mind, body, and soul. We're not able to do that here. And with the Five of Wands, it's like there are very obvious little things here of like, maybe this person's like, hey, do you want to catch up and go get a drink? First off, if you have seen How I Met Your Mother, you know that is, you got to watch out for that. When the ex comes back and is like, do you want to like catch up sometime? That usually means they want to get back together. That's usually what their little testing thing is. It's nothing more than that usually. And there's going to be, it feels like a bunch of roadblocks, like, oh, I can't do it this day, or I can't do it that day. If there are roadblocks, take that as a sign from the universe to just not make the plans. Just ghost them. This is like where you need to sit and what you need. This is what you need to do, okay? Oh my gosh. Sorry, like, my Libra sister was like, asked me about this earlier, so. I had all my Libras. I have a lot of Libras in my life as well. So let's continue on here because we got some more fives and stuff going on. I mean, my first indication that there was something wrong here in terms of love situations, in terms of romantic, like, it's like, and it's not like you asked for this. It's like you are killing it on your own, and because you're putting out this energy, this person's like, oh my God, like, I need to like get back into your life. Like, what was I thinking? What was I doing? Oh my gosh. But Three of Swords was how you kind of end the month there. With the Three of Swords showing up at the end of the month, I'm just feeling like there's a lot of, that's negative. I mean, obviously that's negative, but that's a heartbreak situation. That's somebody driving 3 swords into your heart. Are you being reminded of that again and being like, wow, I let this happen again? And again, I don't want you guys to be in this situation, which is why I think the cards are so adamant and like really want to talk to you about this. Because after 5 of Wands, we get the 5 of Cups reversed and the 8 of Pentacles, and then the 6 of Cups reversed. And I'm gonna actually pull these ones out together as well. So yeah, 5 of Cups reversed and the 8 of Pentacles. And then we have the 6 of Cups reversed and the King of Cups there, upside down. So to me, when I see this, like these first 2 out here, with the 5 of Cups reversed and then the 8 of Pentacles, I just feel like you put in so much work into yourself. With the 8 of Pentacles, you have built yourself up. You have come so far. Why would you do this again? It's like I've already realized that I can find better love. I've already been through the 5 of Cups thing of like coming out the other side, of going through the sadness, of unmasked my grief. And that's one of the reasons I love this card, this 5 of Cups in particular, so much. Is it's literally like I've unmasked my grief. I can see what this is now and move past it. And that's really what I feel here. Like, you've been through that, so why would you want to go back to it? It's like, no. Do you see how hard I have worked? I've been hard at work, like building my life up here, like so much. Like, why would I keep doing this? Like, I'm like almost ready to like move on. Like, here, it's like that kind of energy of like, I've come so far. How could you come back and do this to me again? Because 6 of Cups reversed and the King of Cups reversed, to me it feels like this person is going to play upon your emotions and the nostalgia of the past. It's going to be like, oh, don't you remember when, and like, but you'll never find somebody who enjoys this with me. Oh, I can never do this again. Like, nobody will ever watch this with me. Nobody will ever enjoy, connect with me this way. And it's like, yes, they will. And it's not your responsibility to make them feel comforted and to like tell them, oh, like, yeah, you're right. Like, this is not your responsibility to deal with how they feel about this breakup at this point and this separation. It's like, this separation needed to happen and you cannot be with this person. And the 6 of Cups reversed, to me, whenever I get the 6 of Cups reversed, like, yes, it's a past situation, but we're so hung up on the past that we're not even like seeing that it's not healthy anymore. It's like you can get so hung up on, like, again, the nostalgia of it all and how it used to feel, that you forget what you actually need and all the pain and the hurt that this person has put you through. And how, again, emotionally, this is like, when I get the King of Cups reversed, I always say to somebody who's being very emotionally manipulative, somebody who is not emotionally stable or secure or mature, and you don't want to play with that, okay? So that's like a really huge warning when I get those 2 cards together. It's like, this is somebody who's using a lot of emotional tactics to try to get back into your life, into your head, and that's just not, it's not good for you, okay? So just like watch out for that. And again, like, this person could really, and I don't want to say like, because I'm going to say this all to a bunch of you right now, and like, there will be some of you that will go for it anyways and will get hurt, and that's why these 2 cards come up here with the Knight of Wands and the Fool reverse. Like, you don't want to be made a fool of. You will feel a fool if you engage in this energy. This person might come in like real fast knowing this, but it's like, how many times have they done this before? And also, go back again to the Venus retrograde at the end of last year, beginning of this year. What did that really bring up for you relationship-wise? What did you have to learn that was very painful? Do you need to go through that again? Because this is really what this is going to bring up again, and be like, how far have you moved past this? Are you really done? Okay? And it's like, you need to be done. Because that 3 swords is there, and you don't want to be reminded of that. You don't need to be hurt again. Don't put yourself in a position to get hurt again because you think that somebody deserves the time, because of everything that you've been through. It's like, that doesn't matter, okay? Like, I think I even read this on Twitter. I don't even remember where I read this, but it was like, somebody said like, I just want to get back in touch with this person who like meant a lot to me in the past, like. And then, like, their father was like, don't, because, like, it's not worth, like, because they were like, oh, I'm saying it wrong. It was, like, the young person, probably in their 20s, I assume, was like, oh, like, I should get back in touch with that person. They meant a lot to me. Maybe we should catch up, get back together. Like maybe I made a mistake. Like, what if I was wrong? Like, like, what if, like, I'm wasting my time not being with them? And, like, the father is like, no. Like, you're not, like, it's wasting more time to go back and continue to hurt each other and go through that again than it is for you to just move forward and be happy with other people. You don't have to continue to nurture relationships that are over and that have hurt you and that are done. Just because you have history shouldn't mean shit, okay? to who you are now and where you're at. And with the world reverse, it's like, this chapter is done. Don't open this book back up again, because it will hurt you. And I think this is a huge warning for you guys this month, to not be dragged back into this stuff. And I think it's so prevalent on this because Libras, you guys are so good with so many things, being air signs, but I feel like sometimes being Venus ruled and being an air sign that's all about keeping the peace, you're afraid to hurt people in the ways that they need to be hurt sometimes. And you're afraid to say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done because of the finality of ending a relationship. But I mean, look at this. Like, this is such a huge warning here. 9 of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the Devil reversed. Like, it's like, no, you've been through so much. Like, don't do this again. It's literally like, don't do this again. Don't do this again. You've already broken these chains. You've released yourself. Do not tie yourself back up there. And I do think a lot of you guys will be like, nah, like, fuck you, I'm done with this. And it could be that you're the one delivering the 3 swords, and I really hope that is the case. But it will still probably hurt you and, like, bring up things that this person was even allowed to come back in and say this stuff to you. So I just think it's time to really, like, hammer it in with this person that you cannot be doing this anymore. Like, you have to move forward. You have to move on. And this is not my responsibility any longer. So, Libras, let's pull some other little cards here for you from Oracles. All right, Libras. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, Libras. Of course, my sister's like, I'll tune in as a Libra, and then I'm going to end it now. Sorry, Libras, but, like, after we pull your Oracles, we have to move on to Scorpios. Okay, I think she's an Aquarius present. Alright, love and romance from the angel romance. Angel. Glory, virtue, angel. Oh my gosh. So it keeps doing like 5, and I'm like, I just need 1. Okay. Let's see if another one comes out. I felt like another one was gonna come out. Okay. Yeah, I figured there was gonna be something like this. It's like, okay, I saw pay attention to the red flags come up a bunch of times when I kept getting a bunch of cards, so I'm gonna act like that was one of the cards as well. And I would say pay attention to the red flags. Like, not everybody is as it was gonna be. Oh my god, I'm a jerk. I'm not a jerk. You're late. Sorry, bro. I had to start. I've got things to do today. But yeah, retreat. It's time to disconnect from this world. But I mean, we're still on Libra. These are your romance angel cards here. So retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. This is kind of taking a step back. And I really feel whenever I get this card, it's like, it usually shows people together. But I always see this as more of this is a time for you to take a step back and reflect on what you need and reflect on the situation and really the truth of it. And I think that's only, like, retreating from the situation and taking a step back and a step away when this person comes to you and, like, fucks up your energy is going to be really important for you. And then stay optimistic about your love life. So again, with that 3 of Swords at the end of the month, I feel like a lot of Libra is going to be like, oh my god, like, I'm never going to find somebody, I'm never going to do this. And it's like, you guys are Venus ruled. Please relax. You will be fine. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And again, there's going to be, like I said with the astrology, that crisis of, like, do I have the faith in my 7th house of relationships? So I really feel like that's what's happening here at the end of the month for you guys, is like this person could come at you sensing that you're in this weird vulnerable state, because when Jupiter goes retrograde on the 29th, it's going to be in your 7th house of relationships. And it's going to really make you start questioning, like, oh my god, like, can I really keep going without, like, somebody? I'm like, am I ever going to find somebody? It's going to be, like, weird, like, stuff like that for the single ones. And it's like, you're going to be really questioning, do I have faith in myself? Do I have confidence in myself? Like, or am I going to go back to my old ways and a person that was really bad to me? And something that I've come so far out of. So it's going to be a really hard moment for you guys. And I would suggest, like, you know, again, keeping the faith, keeping the confidence. Remember who you were at the beginning of this month and how awesome you are and how hard you've worked to get here. And don't let people mess you up, okay? All right, Libras, I feel like you guys needed, like, I don't know,